I bought this for $197 and sold it for $332. I bought this for $140 and sold it for $314.
We've all heard this phrase, buy low, sell high. And that's basically the name of the game when it comes to flipping houses. In this video, I want to focus on the first part of that phrase, which is buy low, aka finding discounted properties. Everyone watching this video has a different income level, so that's why I broke this video into 3 different categories: high budget, mid budget, and low budget. So if you have a high budget, one of the top ways I recommend getting deals or getting leads is texting. Believe it or not, you're more likely to get a response from someone by texting them from a random number versus calling them from an unknown number. I don't know about you, but whenever I receive a call on my personal line and I don't recognize a number, I say about 7 out of 10 times, I'm not responding. That is, unless they leave a voice message. If I receive a text, on the other hand, from a number I don't recognize, I'm more willing to at least read the message and see who they are and what they wanted. If someone sends me a text and they mention me by name, I'll at least want to know who this person is because clearly they know who I am. That's why texting is such a great way of marketing, because people are at least willing to hear what you have to say, regardless of if they know you or not. Now, texting is in the high budget section for a reason. It can get very expensive. For example, a very popular texting platform used in the marketing industry is called Launch Control. It costs 15 cents per name that is skip traced. It also allows you to send out 10,000 text messages a month, and it costs roughly $500 a month. So let's do some quick math. 10,000 names skip traced at 15 cents per name is $1,500. Now add on the monthly cost of having the program, and that's an additional $497. So you're now at $1,997 for the month. This doesn't include other softwares like PropString, which is about $97 a month, amongst other platforms that you would use in your real estate business. Don't get me wrong, texting is a great way of marketing, but if you are inconsistent, you will blow through money quickly, and especially if you don't know what you're doing, if you're not able to respond to somebody right away, you're just wasting time and you're wasting money. Mailers. This is actually one of my least favorite methods of marketing. Though some investors swear by it, you have to have a healthy budget in order to successfully convert using mailers. What a mailer is basically you sending a letter to a potential lead and informing them that you're interested in buying their property. From my experience and from many others, the response rate is about 0.5% to 2%. I want you to understand what I just said. A good marketing campaign will get you a 2% response rate. What I mean by response rate is someone actually calling you back. They could be calling you back to cuss you out. They could be calling you back to understand how you got their information. They could be calling you back to see what your offer is. It's literally just a call back. In order to be successful with mailers, it's recommended that you are sending out thousands of mailers so that the odds are in your favor. If you're only sending out 100 mailers a month, you're playing yourself. That's not to say that you couldn't get lucky and within your first 20 mailers, you get a deal, but you cannot build your business consistently with lucky numbers like that. In order to successfully continue to get consistent leads, you have to send out thousands of mailers to consistently get leads. Facebook ads. Plainly put, if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to blow money fast and in a hurry. Get professional help to actually help you run your ads to get motivated sellers. Mid-budget. Cold calling. There are several programs out there that will allow you to do a cold call without you actually having to physically type in each number as you're dialing them. Some of the more popular programs are Call Tools, Mojo Dollar, and Batch Dialer. They each have their pros and cons, but what I would recommend for you to do is to actually go on their website and look up reviews to see which dialer makes the most sense for you. What I found is that internet-based phones tend to have a lag. Though they're improving, there's still that slight lag, and it's nothing compared to a landline connection that you'll be able to use. The drawbacks of cold calling is these cell phone carriers, they're a lot more sophisticated now, and they're designed to actually find or spot potential robocallers. So I'm sure you've gotten those scam likely callers or these types of calls. That's what ends up happening to a number if it's not rotated. So one of the great things about some of these softwares is that you're able to actually buy several different numbers, and as you're calling, it automatically rotates those numbers so your number stays fresh, and it lessens your probability of getting flagged. Not saying that your number will never get flagged, but if you only have a few numbers and you're calling a ton, you're more likely to get flagged rather than buying 10 to 20 numbers and you staying with that same volume of calls. In order for cold calling to be an asset in your marketing strategy, you have to be consistent. I would recommend doing at least 3 hours a day, and they don't have to be consecutive, but I would definitely recommend finding a way to get in 3 hours a day, whether that's an hour in the morning or 2 later on in the evening. Try to get yourself at least 3 hours, because if you're just calling 30 minutes a day or an hour a day, again, you're just wasting time. Also, be in a position to where you can answer incoming calls. Now, I would also set up the voice messaging system on these platforms to where you ask them to leave a message. Now, there are some platforms that do not allow you to receive voice messages, but do your research and figure out which ones are best for you, so that way you're not missing out on those potential deals. Batch Dialer has a basic plan, and it's $139 a month, and this allows you to call 3 lines at a time. This is separate from the telephone numbers that you would have to purchase as well. No budget. This is my favorite section, and the reason is because this gives hope to folks that are looking to get into real estate and they either don't have much funds that they can actually put into their marketing, or they do have funds but they're skeptical on whether or not they should spend it on what type of strategy. So the first one I would recommend is door knocking. This mainly works if you have the ability or time to do this. I would recommend looking up houses that are in pre-foreclosure and making a list of those properties. Pro tip, double check to see if the property is already listed on the MLS, and make sure that it is owner occupied. Properties that are not owner occupied are rental properties. And what I mean by owner occupied basically is once you go on the county assessor website and you check the property, if the mailing address and the property address are the same, then it's most likely owner occupied, meaning the owner lives in the home. Now, if the property address and the mailing address is different, then there is a large possibility that this is a rental property. And what you don't want to do is knock on the door of a tenant and saying, hey, the county records show that the home is going into foreclosure, and I just want to make sure that doesn't happen. They will freak out, ask me how I know. I did it a couple times, and after that, I made that adjustment, and I made sure that whenever I knocked on the door, I made sure that it was the owner and never a tenant. Wholesalers. This is where we get a large portion of our flip projects. A wholesaler's sole job is to find discounted properties, lock it under contract, and then assign it to an investor like yourself. They'll mark up those discounted properties and assign it to you, and where that gap is, that's considered an assignment fee. Now, some of you guys may have the question of, well, why do wholesalers just not keep the houses for themselves because they're already finding the properties? The thing is, there's people that specialize in different aspects of the business, right? So instead of just keeping the property for themselves and renovating the property and waiting 5-6 months to make $30,000 or $40,000, they'd rather make $10,000, $15,000 in 30 days and not have to swing a hammer and just assigning it over and just moving on to the next property. This is great for you because it allows you to not have to market, not have to cold call, not have to send mailers, not have to text, not have to do anything. All you have to do is get on their mailing list, and from there, they will just send you deals that they got under contract directly to your inbox. The best way to have wholesalers send you discounted properties to your inbox is by doing these 3 things. Go on Google and type in your city's name and sell my house fast. I stay away from big names such as Homevestors, Open Door, and other sponsored posts. I will scroll down to the websites that are below that section. Call about 10 of them and let them know that you're interested in being added on to their buyers list as an investor. Number 2, go on Facebook, search your city name, then real estate investors. From there, several groups will pop up. Join as many groups as you possibly can and put a post in those groups saying that you're a real estate investor and you would like to be added on to their buyers list. Number 3, Now, I'm sure you guys have been driving around and you've seen those signs that are at different intersections that say we buy houses, such and such buy houses, we buy ugly houses. These signs are all from wholesalers. And so what you would do is call those numbers and let them know, again, you're a real estate investor and you want to be added onto their buyers list. By doing those 3 things, within the next 48 hours, you'll start getting deals sent to your inbox. Now, I gotta warn you, about 95% of what you're gonna receive in your inbox is gonna be trash, right? There's a lot of beginning wholesalers that don't quite know how to identify what is a good deal from not a deal at all. And so it is your job to actually understand what you're looking for to analyze a deal. And when you actually go out to a property, you need to know what you're looking for as well. And to get more information on that, you can actually click the video that's linked on this page or go down to the comment section below. And there I have an entire video that explains what to look for when you're actually going to review a property to determine if it's a deal or not. If you found value in this video, go ahead and like this video and do not forget to subscribe. Thank you all so much. And if you have any questions, go ahead and put that in the comment section below. I can't wait for you to get your first deal. I'll see you in the next one.